wanted to do. And look, it actually spent the full amount.
Well, no, it's two of the. There's one for the men, one for the women. So, but it certainly did spend quite a bit more than the cost caps had previously, for sure.
Yeah. No, yeah, this is exactly what we wanted to happen in terms of results from those changes yesterday. So for your
Okay,
other one, where was that CBO that you had on yesterday?
they're the two that say. You know what? Because we never really got back in touch with each other, so I didn't, I didn't plug it in because I didn't know whether to run with that full speed CBO that I ran before.
Was this that one? The one that was running yesterday that you ran on the
That
weekends
was
to
running.
just,
That's running yesterday. Those are both the cost caps. It says CBO, but I've switched them to cost caps, so it's probably the labeling is
okay.
deceptive there. How do I
So
get
that's what
rid
it
of this
was.
stupid thing on the screen here? Hold on a second, so I can do that. Okay. All right. Yeah. So those are both the other cost caps right there. The 3 plus ship CBO 2.0 and the 3 plus ship 2.0 women's. Those are both the split audiences that are cost capped. Like I say, their cost per purchase went up compared to the stacked one.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it should have, because this is perfect. So now you would turn these off.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought, but I didn't want to, I wanted to discuss it first. I knew we'd
Yeah,
be on the
because
call
both of
today.
these exited learning. That's the exact thing. I mean, everything went perfect because you wanted those to be able to get enough purchases to exit. And you can see in here, none of these have actually gotten the 50. But I mean, they probably do exit learning over the course of 7 days. But the thing is, they're not very consistent. So we wanted these to exit quicker. So now you would just
Mm,
turn both of these off. So that way this can
okay,
actually go up and they're not competing.
okay. Now I do notice today, if it's a weekday. It's not bidding as much. It's not scaling as much today. I don't know if there's things we can do to address that or not, or if
Yeah,
that's just
so
the
it's
way it's
too
going to go
soon.
on weekdays.
Yeah, it's too soon. It's Monday. It's early. You have to wait. Most sales come in on the evening anyways. People are busy right now. Um, right? So like towards the evening, you'll see a lot of sales come through, and then also like once again, like you don't want to be competing against yourself. So I would just turn off this one, you know, right now.
Yeah, yeah, I'll turn off both those. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I'd turn those off.
I guess the 10% engagement, leave that going at this point, and the the retargeting was nice yesterday. Not as pretty today, but I guess it's also part of it being Monday.
Yeah. So I'd turn these off. This one at
Yeah,
least because this one's getting some purchases, but I mean you would turn this one off as well. That'll
yeah, I turn
combat
off.
the action of
That's just incidental. Sure.
That'll combat the overlap. And then this one, give it another day, like tomorrow, check it. But like if the cost doesn't start decreasing, I mean, it has like no purchases, but if the cost is continuing to decrease, leave it alone, right? And then like,
Okay.
because eventually it should start performing really well. And it looks like it's going down, but there's still little data there, right? So,
Yeah, small
um,
amount of data.
so just turn off those that you have overlap. And if you want the higher spend, like if you're still comfortable with spending a lot, and this one's spending a lot more at cost cap, which is great, or at big cap, which is really good, you could actually, you know, raise this even more. Oh, they're both at 21. So, I mean, yeah, that's fine too. Cool. Yep. So those are the only
Yeah, I
changes.
mean, as long as they're close to, I like I said, definitely like to get them lower, but as long as they're running at least 2.0, then we'll we can run as much as long as we can maintain that, we can run as much into it it'll it'll run.
Yeah. And after launching your retargeting yesterday, you almost got a 3x.
Yeah, the retargeting yesterday, I was pleasantly surprised with that. Like I said, I don't know. like I say, I guess we'll see during the week how all this kind of, it's weird. Sundays are really busy for it,
Look at,
traditionally, but yesterday was
yeah,
particularly
because
busy.
historically you've never really had a good retargeting.
No, zero on retargeting.
Yeah,
So
this is
it
great.
was definitely
This is exactly, you set it up correctly, and this is exactly how it should have been done. It looks great, and it's working because of it.
okay. Uh, additional, there should be additional audiences I should be looking to create either out of the Facebook Pixel or out of my data that I have from the customers, from things they've purchased or amounts they've purchased or anything like that. Because I know as I'm starting to look into this training, it's saying audiences, audiences, audiences. So trying to figure out what kinds of audiences I need to be adding and creating.
So right now, I would continue to scale the ones you have. And you could also scale up your retargeting too, because like, look, you see how all these are carts, the ones that we created?
Mm-hmm.
These are the ones that are getting
Yeah.
all the purchases, which is great, right? So that worked. So 20 daily, I mean, I was just going through an account where somebody's spending like 700 daily on retargeting, and they're spending like the same amount as you on total spend per day, like around 2,100, you know? I think theirs is really
Okay.
like closer to 3,000, but they're spending 700 on retargeting. So you see the difference? Like that's
Hmm.
almost like 40% of their budget going towards retargeting. So,
Yeah.
and their
Okay.
numbers are holding this. So that's what we want to do here as well. So I'd scale this up to like, I mean, you've probably already hit your budget today for retargeting as well, probably. Yeah, you've already, oh,
Uh,
you've passed it.
no, I've got a 20. I've got a 20 per ad set.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. So in that
All right.
case, yeah, so realistically, these did really well. So you could double these each, double each and all of them to get your spending up there. And then I'd also turn both of these off. And then based off that, with these three alone, how much would your spend be?
The this bottom one, I mean, it could run up to 4,200 if it would spend it. But like I say, it's kind of based on whether it can perform with the ROA. The 10% engagement, that one as well, if it goes under bid strategy, I think it's 1,200. But again, it hasn't really got the cost per result at this point. And then the top one would that be? That'd be 6 times 40, so 240. So we're
My
talking around
guess,
$5,000.
yeah. So if you turn both of these off, my guess is it's going to spend more than 1,200 because remember we turned that on in the middle of the day yesterday. So like it didn't even have the full course of the day. So we'll
Yeah,
probably hit
well,
those
so
numbers.
we turned it on Saturday, but then I duplicated the men's one in there because we just had the women's, and it seemed like it was getting the traffic, so I duplicated the men's one there, and that yesterday was the first day for both of them to run on there. Yes.
Got it. Yep. So in that case, I would turn both of these off and then let these run and then start scaling up your retargeting. And then if you wanted to create another audience, um, we could look at potentially like audiences that might make sense to test. I really think like your engagement one will end up performing better. And then like your proven stacked, I mean, we've already stacked all of your best performing ones into this one to scale it up. So the next option would be, we'd have to go through your data to make sense of something that would that could work.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
because you've already done
And
lists and stuff.
so for the ROA to increase, is that something that I adjust the bid cap, or the algorithm will affect that after it'll optimize after a certain amount of time? How do we?
That
Because
should,
if we're
you should,
if the metric we're looking for is 3 or 4, go ahead. Sorry.
3 or 4 ROAS is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's where we would like to be at 3. 4 would be amazing. 4 is where we are at the start, but I don't know if that'll ever be. Or if
Yeah, that's a
CPM will
little, I
ever
mean, that's
allow
kind of a
that again.
moonshot. Yeah, that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
far off. I mean, you could get a 4 if you scaled back in terms of spend, but we could certainly maintain above a 2. If you turn off these bottom two, you'll go
Hmm.
into the 2x over the next 7 days for sure. And then if you scale up your retargeting, you're gonna raise your overall average because you're gonna have a higher ROAS here. So like I said, if you get your retargeting spend up to like 40% of your account of spend and you're hitting like 2.5 plus or 3x, I mean, that's gonna raise your overall ROAS significantly. And there's more retargeting you can do outside of this. Like you should launch another retargeting campaign that's focused on view content. Then you should launch another retargeting campaign that's focused on ad engagements. And that alone could get you up to 40% of your account. You could be maintaining your 3x plus there. It would raise your average to a 2.5 plus. I don't know how likely it is to maintain a 3 at, 3,000, 4,000 spend. Probably isn't like, I wouldn't say it's super likely, but a 2.5 for sure. And that'll keep you profitable.
Okay, excellent.
Cool.
Okay, I think that's the only question I had there.
Awesome. Perfect. Yep. So cut those, scale your retargeting spend, and then create 2 more retargeting audiences, view contents, and the other one being ad engagements. And then let this run for about 3 more days to see if the cost is going down. Make sure it's going down. And if it is, keep it. This one needs 7 days to like maintain a good result. It might be quicker though. I mean, you might see that it's stabilizing relatively quickly, and it looks like it already has way more purchases, which is great.
Is that view content a 30-day view content or 7-day view content or
14 day,
14-day?
14
Okay.
day view content.
And ad engagement as well, same thing.
Ad
Or
engagements.
ad engagements anytime,
Yeah,
365.
you could do a 28 day, 180 day, a 365 day. Yeah.
And those audiences are both made from that event, from the event screen.
Yep, it's made from
I
the
think that's what I
Facebook.
meant the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Great. Anything else we need to work on?
No, I'd say just give these time, turn these 2 off so that way you can prevent overlap and you should be good to go.
Okay. Great.
Yep. And then on
Thank you.
Wednesday, we can talk about next steps and see how the results are there.
Okay. And then the other question I ask you is like because the ad mastery thing is set up in the different stages, but some of it like setting up the campaign and the basic parts of the ad. What we talked about kind of where should I jump in? Where do I need to
The
focus on
fourth
that?
phase,
Fourth.
scaling.
Okay. Okay.
You want
Great.
to stabilize, you want your results to stabilize, and then we want to talk about scaling. And scaling can be scaling your ROAS. It doesn't have to mean scaling your spend. So we're actually technically going through it on this call, which is you creating audiences that are focused more on retargeting. So you can get your retargeting spend up. That'll balance out your ROAS.
Okay. Maybe additional creatives for the retargeting too.
Yeah. And it's working too. Like you've never really had a retargeting campaign that's ever done anything. So I mean, like that's a huge opportunity that we're gonna finally take off the table.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yep.
All right, great. I'll talk to you Wednesday.
Alrighty. Thanks, Eric.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.